Now, when you look at these television shows of these kings and queens, you always, the way we see it, you see that the queen is on the left side, right? The way we see it, the queen is on the left side, right? Right? But we're looking through a mirror, right? We're looking through what is called a video recorder, but it's basically really a mirror, right? Okay. So what we're going to look up is this right here. What side of the queen chess piece, hold on, chess piece on a chess board go? All right. If you're the white piece, the queen was set on the right side of the board. If you are if you are on the black piece, if you're the black chess pieces, it's still the right side of the board. You feel what I'm saying? They sit on the right side of the king. You feel what I'm saying? The king is on your left side. So when we're looking at this on TV and we're seeing this, the white queen stands on the center white square with the white king next to her on the center black square, while the black king and queen do opposite across, blah, 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 blam, blam, blam. See, this question said, does the queen go on the left or right? But it keeps saying squares. You feel what I'm saying? It won't give you this, it won't give you that. But when you see the picture, as I said, it's the right side. Your queen is on the right side of you. So when we see these movies and we are looking at it, remember, we're seeing this from a mirror. You feel what I'm saying? This is a mirror we're looking at. So when you do whatever you do and you want to give a vision of kings and queens sitting on the throne, please, I ask of you, please, especially if you're a Kenite, especially if you're an Egyptian, especially if you're in this culture, please do it the right way. You got me? The right way. Put your queen on the right side of you, yeah? Because see, your queen is supposed to stand for everything righteous. Your queen is the go-to when you're in turmoil, when you have questions that need to be answered in a, how to put it, civilized manner, in a way of thinking of others. You know what I mean? Women are compassionate. You feel what I'm saying? And basically what I'm saying, if I go to a man and ask them, is it time to send a nuke over here to this country, that man gonna tell me, yeah, let's roll. You need me help you push the button? That woman is gonna tell me, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Come on, what about the repercussions down the line? What about that little innocent baby that's still caught up in their country? You understand what I'm saying? See, they don't see the threat that is so imminent. They see the compassion and you got what I'm saying in war, what it kills, what it hurts, what it destroys. You get me now? I hope you do get me. Let's move on. Harmony in the union of opposites. The doctrines concerning the soul, the immorality of the soul, the transmigration of the soul. Remember, we went through all that, right? Right? All right. The salvation of the soul. Remember, we've been through all that. The purpose of philosophy is the salvation of the soul, whereby it feeds upon the truth congenial to its divine nature and thus escapes from the will of rebirth and finally attains the consumption of unity with God. The body is the tomb of the soul. Yes, this shell we live in is a tomb. It keeps this soul in here. The aspirations of the soul. There is a realm of true reality which is above the world of sense. To this, the soul aspires. Now let's get into the doctrine of self-knowledge. Know thyself. Self-knowledge is the basis of true knowledge. The mysteries required as a first step the mastery of the passions which made room for the occupation of unlimited powers. Hence, as a second step, the neophyte was required to search within himself for the new powers which had taken possession of him. The Egyptians consequently wrote on their temples, "Man, know thyself." Now, do you get what I'm trying to say? That when I went into these prisons, that I was searching for thyself. I was searching for me. I was searching for understanding of who I am. So I started getting into these religious groups. I started going to these religious classes. I started picking up these books of religion. I started picking up these books of history. I started trying to understand, why am I here? Why do I do the things I do? Why do I think the way I think? Why are my actions, how to say it, is fueled in evil? You got what I'm saying? Why are my actions fueled in evil? And I found a lot in these books. I found a lot that made more sense to me than anything else anyone verbally could tell me. You feel what I'm saying? So it was a long journey, it was a long process, and I'm telling you again, I still make mistakes. I still lose my self-control. I still feel that I'm going to always protect myself and defend myself. You feel me? You can be ignorant, not listen. Who cares? You feel me? Who cares? That's you. That's you. You got what I'm saying? That's you. The rest you fill in. You can understand what I'm explaining to you, or you can sit there and be the most ignorant person in the world and suffer the consequences. All right, let's get into astrology and geology. There was a suspicion that Socrates was also engaged in the study of astrology and geology, and that he taught these subjects, for in his defense before the Athenian judges, he stated that the more formidable of his accusers tried to persuade them with lies that one, Socrates, a wise man, was speculating about the heavens and about things beneath the earth, and that he was capable of making the worst appear the better reason. This suspicion is further supported by the indictment brought against Socrates, and which reads as follows: Miletus, the son of Miletus of the Demipithis, on his oath brings the following accusations against Socrates, the son of Sophroniscus of the deme Alapi. Socrates commits a crime by not believing in the gods of the city and by introducing new divinities. He also commits a crime by corrupting the youth. Penalty, death. See, Socrates took our mystery system, the same as Plato, went into Europe, taught it to these kids, which he shouldn't have never did. When they figured out what Socrates, Plato, put it this way, our first philosophers of the world was crucified, was found guilty of plagiarism, to be honest with you, if that's the best word to use. You feel what I'm saying? And back in those days, everybody had a God. Everybody, okay, my God better than your God better than my God. Look, I pray to such and such, woo, woo, woo. I pray to such, do, do, woo. You got what I'm saying? It's the same supreme being. But what we didn't understand then and what we don't understand now, there are those that came to confuse the language. Say it again with me. There are those that came to confuse the language. And with confusion, you find who? Satan. That's who you find. That's who you find. Satan. There is still a third source from which the suspicion arose that Socrates was engaged also in astrology and geology. This was the caricature of Socrates published by Aristophanes in his comedy, The Clouds, as follows. Socrates is a miserable recluse who speaks a great deal of absurd and amusing nonsense about physics and declares that Zeus is dethroned, that rotation reigns in his stead, and that the new divinities are air, which holds the earth suspended, ether, the clouds, and tongue. He professes to possess the power of Belial, which enables him to make the worse appear the better reason, and his teachings cause children to beat their parents. Come on now. Come on, did you see that? Teachings cause children to beat their parents. So these teachings, they wrong. You feel me? We are to respect our parents. We are to honor our parents. Our parents are to honor us. You feel me? You won't get along with your parents, walk away from them. You feel what I'm saying? Be respectful, but walk away from them. You get what I'm saying? If your parents can't be respectful to you, the same thing in return. If your kids can't be respectful to you parents, walk away from your babies when they are at an age of able to take care of themselves. The law in America, at 18, they're able to fend for themselves. Your obligation as a parent is over. It's done. You feel me? It's done. You got 18 years to teach that child how to cook, clean, think, how to put it, think. To be a man, let me say it to you this way. To be a man, to take care of their responsibilities, the same things with these young women. You have 18 years to teach them to be responsible. The rest up to you. If you drop the ball, you drop the ball. Sometimes I look at the parent. I don't look at the child. Because see, if I know the parent, then I know they won't dare. You feel what I'm saying? Some of you parents, I know you was there. So I said, well, okay, the child just out there exploring. And I get that. You got what I'm saying? Because my mom was there. And I was out here exploring. Ain't that I'm hard-headed. It's just some things that I want to adventure into. Life and personality of Socrates. There are two circumstances in the life of Socrates which demand our attention. He is said to have been completely unknown up to the age of 40 and to have lived a life of poverty. These circumstances point to secrecy in training and poverty as conditions of his life. And as such, they coincide with the requirements of the mystery system of Egypt and her secret schools, whether in the land of Egypt or abroad, which extracted the vows of secrecy and poverty from all neophytes and initiates. All aspirants of the mysteries had to receive secret training and preparation, and Socrates was no exception. He alone of the three Athenian philosophers deserves the appellation of a true master mason. Plato was a great coward, and Aristotle was greater still. At the execution of Socrates, Plato fled to Megara, to the lodge of Euclid, and Aristotle, when indicted, fled to exile to Colchis. We're going to end this chapter reading of 6 part 3. And I say this to you again, it's deep, right? It's deep, right? Now, what I didn't never understand, because I said this to you before, you know what I mean? This has been rewritten. This has been republished. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of this was not in the first book, the book Stolen Legacy I read. It just was not. They was not talking a lot about the Greeks. You know what I mean? They was basically dealing with everything that you could see visible in America that was created, that was structured from the land of Kemet, from the land of ancient Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? So I say this to you again, and I say to use what? Your common sense. Say it with me. Use your common sense when reading literature of today. It has been republished. You feel what I'm saying? You get me? So sometimes it's best for you to take a book that you have already read and decades later, you got what I'm saying? Decades later, because I came across the book Stolen Legacy by the same author, George G.M. James, in 1992. This is what, 2024 when I bought this book. It has been republished. You feel what I'm saying? That book was like this. Like this book on Isis and Osiris, it was this would be the same size as the book Stolen Legacy I read in 1992. So I'm glad there's some other things in here because I didn't know where those Greek philosophers got their understanding of the world. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of glad that it's in here because it shows me that it all started in Kemet. It all started in the land, in the continent, in the motherland of Africa. Look, you've been with the nasty pastor. Eat it up. Eat it up. You got me? Eat it up. Feel me? I love you, and I'm out.